What up, geeks and fellow Dragon Ball fans, and welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 78 review. Alright dudes, so this episode was very interesting to say the least. Now I say that because there's a certain character in this episode that has been exploited even further. Now in my last review that I done on episode 77, I talked about the topic of Goku showing his selfishness, his recklessness, his urge to fight and not caring of the consequences. And that's leading obviously to the universal survival arc that we're on here today. Now, I say that in this episode, this particular characteristic of Goku has been exploited even further. Now, I don't know if this is done on purpose by the writers of Toei Animation, but I feel like it is. I get that sense from the writers that they're trying to show us the real side of Goku. The side of Goku that we don't seem to highlight that often as a character. But in this episode, it really showed that to me, in my opinion. If we come to the start of the episode, we're gone to that scene where the Grand Priest appears and he states the rules and regulations of the tournament, when it's going to be held and all of that good stuff. And then we get to the point where he says that the losing tournaments will be erased. Now this took as a massive shock to Goku and Beerus especially. Now at first, Goku's first reactions to this was something that I did expect. You know, I wanted Goku to react like this. I wanted him to be, you know, shocked and then realize what he just did. You know, he was the cause of this. He is partially to blame here, dudes. A big portion of this is to be blamed on Goku because he was too hasty in making his decision to talk to Zeno-sama about the tournament, and now he has to face the consequences, which is the deaths and the destruction and the erasion is not even a word, but I'm going to use that, of the other existing universes. Now at first, Goku's reaction was shock, but then he seemed to brush it off quite quickly. Now this really ticked off Beerus-sama. Beerus was not impressed with this. He lashed out at Goku and he was just like, why aren't you taking this more seriously? Do you realize what you just did? Take more responsibility. And then the Grand Priest states that the future Zeno-sama is unfamiliar with what way Universe 7 can fight, and he wants an exhibition match to be held before the actual tournament. Now this is going to involve the Universe 7, which is Goku's universe, and Universe 9, which we will get to that later. Now this particular exhibition match is composed of 3 fighters per team. So Beerus orders Goku to take responsibility and gather up 2 more fighters to join him in this exhibition fight. So Goku was just like, yeah, okay, whatever, we'll do this. Now this kind of again shows that Goku genuinely didn't realize. He seems to not see the bigger picture here, dudes. He doesn't seem to realize what the hell he just done, what he just triggered, what he just started. He's so cool and calm and collected about it. But anyway, when you come back to the scene where Goku starts to talk to Vegeta. Now Vegeta is still pacing up and down, anxious as he is, because he knows he has a new member of the family on the way, and that's all he cares about right now. But Goku still tends to ask Vegeta to join him in this fight, still showing Goku that doesn't realize what comes first, and in Vegeta's eyes, family comes first. And now I like this from Toei. I like this extremely amazing character development of Vegeta. Who knew that the Vegeta that we were first introduced to back in Z, the ruthless, you know, uninhibited by foolish emotion, that Vegeta, we don't got that Vegeta anymore. Vegeta has transitioned to this caring family guy. Like, who knew? Seriously, who knew Vegeta, a family guy, much more caring than that of Goku, believe it or not. When Goku was talking to Vegeta and Vegeta was saying no, he was denying his request or whatever, he noticed that Goten and Trunks were sparring with one another. Now I actually really enjoyed the scene. I like the fact that Goten and Trunks have that fighting flame in them, like father like son, you know, the two of them sparring off, one to get, you know, train the other to see if they can get stronger, you know. And it's so awesome to see that they're actually training and they are getting stronger. So this was a little bit of development on Goten's behalf finally. Even though we're only getting tiny little portions at a time, we are getting some sort of development of Goten's character character, which I appreciate. But then it all of a sudden just hits Goku that he has another son. And this goes back to my previous point that I made in the last review, that Goku does not really have a relationship with Gohan. He doesn't. The fact that he actually forgot his son was Gohan, which was a bit of comedic relief, but then again it kind of shows Goku's carelessness. But anyway, he goes over to Gohan and he tries convincing Gohan to fight. Gohan was very sketchy about it. He was having second thoughts about it, you know, that or whatever. He was kind of gonna deny it. He was gonna say no. I think he was gonna go ahead and say no to Goku. But then Goku kind of whispers to him, don't tell anybody, but if we lose, then our universe will get erased. And the other universes will get erased if they lose. And then Gohan was just in utter shock. Couldn't believe what he was hearing. And he couldn't understand why Goku was so cool about it as well. And he was just saying to Goku, like, you know, that's so irresponsible, you know, what you just did. And like, even his own son told him that he was being completely irresponsible. It was irrational, it was reckless, it was hasty. But still, nothing, not even a flinch from Goku realizing what's on the line here. Like, what is the bigger picture? And then when it came to it, you know, Gohan said, yes, I will fight because I have something that I have to fight for. And that's his family. And it just kind of shows that everybody else in the Dragon Ball world has developed emotions for others rather than themselves. But then when you come back to Goku, Goku's fighting for himself and nobody else. He's just looking for a fight because he loves to fight. Now, I know Goku's character has always been like that, and I know a lot of you Goku fans out there are going to say, oh my god, but dude, how many times did Goku save the world or save the universe? I know, I get that, but you have to ask yourself, did he do it for the ones he loved, or did he just do it for the thrill of the fight? It's kind of, like I said, Toei are really highlighting the fact that Goku's character can be reckless, can be selfish, can be completely hasty, not caring at all of the consequences that follow from the decisions he makes. That's what I'm trying to point out here in this review, dudes. This particular episode really highlighted that fact. Now, obviously, then Goku had to get somebody else to fight because he needs 3 people, and it just so happens Majin Buu was there and he asked Buu. And then Mr. Satan came along for a bit of comedic relief, and also Mr. Satan is the only one that can talk sense into Buu. Buu will only listen to Mr. Satan. He doesn't listen to anybody else. So that was a good move. I liked that. I think that was interesting, that was fresh, and it's nice to see Mr. Satan brought back into the fold in this. Now, when we get to the exhibition match, they're brought to this unknown void outside space and time. This place is kind of like similar to that of the hyperbolic time chamber, of the room of spirit of time, whatever you want to call it. That's what I think anyway, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, does this affect the time, the real world? Is there a time difference? Does time slow down? Does time stand still in this certain realm that they're in the tournament? We finally get to see all of the gods and the angels and the gods of destruction, and we're all brought together in this tournament. Now, this is going to be one heck of a tournament, dudes, but you have to ask yourself this question: is there going to be a break between here? I mean, there has to be. Gohan kind of jumped from being family man to being in his original gi. Although I loved seeing him in that gi. I mean, it brought back memories. He looks like he's buff again, but I don't think Gohan is strong. I don't think he's been training at all, to be quite honest with you. So this is going to be interesting. Now we come to the part where the Universe 9 fighters are introduced, and there are 3 wolf-like characters, and the first one that's up is Basil. So Goku's just kind of like, okay, so that's their character. He doesn't look like much. Let's put Buu up against him. And of course, Buu fell asleep again, and Mr. Satan had to wake him up with chocolate. I like that. Again, comedic relief. It's nice to have that in this. It wouldn't be Dragon Ball if there wasn't a bit of comedy-tron in there. And then Buu wakes up. Buu goes in and he wants to fight this character, and it looks like this Basil character is going to town on Buu. I mean, he's kicking him around the place, but you know, I knew straight off that Buu was just, you know, he was just like, okay, I'm being bounced around. He wasn't feeling any of these blows. And then we get to that scene where Buu is knocked to the ground. He looks like he's knocked unconscious, and then the episode ends where Boo has a smile on his face. Now that was a good cliffhanger. I enjoyed that familiar smile, like, okay, it's my turn. Basically, that's what it meant. And it's going to be interesting to see Boo fight in this episode, in the next episode, I should say. I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to that. But another thing that I want to talk about in this episode before we get to the preview, dudes, is how reckless Goku was at this particular moment when he kind of shouts over to Champa, like, you know, oh hey Champa, long time no see, or whatever, and the Grand Priest himself gave him a serious look and said, your silence would be much appreciated. Now, coming from the Grand Priest, you know you gotta shut the hell up, Goku. Seriously. And you know, even Beerus was kind of like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Have some respect. You know, do you want us to be erased immediately? And you know, you think Goku would have gotten the picture then? But then no. He sees Zen-Osama and then he shouts over to Zen-Osama, you know, thanking him for making us fight first. And he literally flies over to them, puts his elbow on his chair, completely disrespectful. All of the other universes can't believe their eyes. And he's just talking away to Zen-Osama. And Beerus just grabs Goku and throws him back down and apologizes on his behalf. And then you get these talks around from the other universes, the gods, the angels, saying how disrespectful. I mean, Universe 7ers only have scum on their team. Like, Goku, could you not get the picture when Grand Priest himself said to you, don't make a sound? And again, my point exactly. Goku's being reckless and completely selfish, not caring of the consequences of the decisions he makes. Now, I understand that Goku's character, he's silly, he's stupid, he doesn't think, he thinks irrationally, he makes decisions out of nowhere, he's spontaneous. I get that, but when it comes to the seriousness of this, you think he'd have a little bit of cop on? I don't know, dudes. This is an interesting one. I enjoyed it though. I want to talk about the preview now for episode 79. We didn't get a whole lot there. We got Majin Buu facing off Basil, and it seemed like something was happening here, that the other characters of Universe 7 were getting worried. Beerus is getting worried. Something to do with maybe this fight was a little bit too boring for Zen-Osama to be interested, and Beerus is getting worried because if this fight is boring, then they could be erased just like that. So, you know, I don't know, Boo has to step it up a notch or something. He's got to get pissed off or something. I don't know. But that's basically what the preview was for episode 78. It's basically going to be the showdown between Boo and Basil. We're going to have a fight. It's going to be awesome to see Boo fight again. But that's all we got. And that's, I'm guessing the whole episode next week is going to be about that fight. But anyway, dudes, that does end my review of episode 78 of Dragon Ball Super. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say. If you did enjoy what I had to say, why don't you give me a like, a thumbs up, and that'd be super awesome. And if you have anything to say about this episode yourself, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section. Last week you were being super supportive and I appreciate all the comments, and I agree with what a lot of you had to say as well. It made a total amount of sense. So do the same for this video as well. Let me know what you think of Goku's character, what he's developing into. Do you think he's being reckless and selfish in this episode? Do you think Goku is just being Goku? I don't know. Leave it down in the comment section. I'd love to hear about it, and I'll respond to some of you guys as well. But anyway, like I said, that does end it here. And as always, stay geeky, stay cool, be awesome, and be happy. And I'll see you dudes in my next video.